Hello dear readers, it's Tidbit Tuesday yet again, and to quote Monty Python, it's time for something completely different. This time around I decided I would talk a little bit about Rahasya, Book 3 of the Tome Series, which, the Gods willing, will be released at the end of this year. So to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, I decided I would discuss some old characters and some new characters, and a little bit about where they're coming in in the story, or where they're going, or what function, what role they play. Rhea and Scorpio are, of course, in the book, and they're already rocky, confrontational, nitpicking friendship. Is that and more now, because new twists have been thrown in with Scorpio discovering the truth of his identity, and the truth that Rhea had known all along because of her awakened mind, and she never told him, and Rhea's feelings that he wouldn't have believed her, and her inability to stand up to him because of his, understandable to a certain degree, hatred of nobles and nobility. So from there, they have grown in a way, and grown apart in a way, and yet grown together in a way. So their relationship throughout the book is quite unique. Zoristes, of course, is still in the book. When last left off, he was on his way to the Isle of Hesperides to learn what he must do to seal the 7 doorways of the abyss, even as they're opening. Which he does. He makes it there. And he begins a new journey in which he has certain quests to accomplish to be able to seal the doorways to the abyss. In so doing, he has traveled to the edges of reality, and he's making new friends, new allies, and some new enemies. And new enemies are even old enemies, and what the heck that means, you'll find out eventually. Not necessarily in Rahasya, though. Myas, everyone's favorite villain, he's raking Draken in turn back into his evil clutches and reasserting his control, because for all his knowledge and everything he knows he must do, he doesn't like doing much himself, and that's only gotten worse since he subsumed the vice of the sloth. So that's a lot to say. Now his primary goal is to acquire an army. He wants minions to do the things for him that need to be done, such as acquiring the sacrifices to gain the remaining 4 vices and accomplish the rest of his goals and open the gateway to the abyss and unleash demon destruction and on and on and on and on. Neela, who you saw conceived at the end of Zickin and kind of met through the warrior Mayaka's eyes in Sea of Sands, gets to join the wonderful ranks of POV characters in Rahasya. She's now more of a forward character and developing her own story arc and her own identity and her own things that she must accomplish. Whether she wants to or not, I'll be honest. She's turning out pretty fun to write. I'm enjoying writing her. She's very unique, considering that she's really only a couple months old and the shadows have aged her to late teens, early 20s. So she's kind of an adult, but not an adult. There's still some things that she's very childlike about, and other things that she's got the wisdom of ages in. So she's very unique and very interesting, and I look forward to developing her further after Rahasya. But you'll definitely get to meet more of her. And then there's new POV characters. There's new characters that you're going to meet. One of them is Arjun. He is a Payanthan monk who has a very painful and bloody history from Zickin. It's his homeland. And you get to learn a little bit more of the things that happened in Zickin and in the wake of the events in Zickin and in Sea of Sands that no one was there to actually witness, because Rhea was with Andre and Sir Zaviest, and Scorpio and Ephira and Fenris were off in the Sea of Sands or on their journey to it, and Zoristes was off wherever he was at that point, and everybody was everywhere else. So through Arjun's eyes and his past, you get to learn just exactly what was going on and what Amias ordered and things that Draken had commanded. So it's pretty interesting. It's kind of like a retrospect type character. And he's pretty neat because he is a soul forger, and that means that he can direct his Zakti, his soul energy, through his different chakras on his body to accomplish certain things, like the crown chakra, the top of the head. He can sense souls and merge with them and actually communicate with them if he touches someone. It's very interesting, and I hope at least somebody out there enjoys them. Another character that you will meet is Aki. She is a Uyghur Junin Miko. The Uyghur Junin are a race from one of the edges of reality, the realm of eternal twilight and dusk. She is a Miko, which means she is a priestess, sort of a shamanic priestess, much like the Miko of the Shinto faith in Japan, in our world. And her history is more entwined with everyone else's history in the books than is probably readily apparent on the surface. She doesn't give too much away, but you definitely get the hint that she's been involved from beyond the beginning, which is advantageous because being a Uyghur Junin, she is one of the first races, meaning she is immortal to the ravages of the time. And even though she looks about, we'll say 18, 19, she's actually thousands of years old. So she's pretty cool and pretty handy with a bow and arrow. Two very interesting new POV characters are Ismarud and Malinovoy, who are Tien shadow guards that have gone rogue. They're masterless. You get the impression of these guys that they are not the stablest people in the world. Bloodthirsty. They take great relish in killing and fighting and testing their mettle. But there's more to them that you get the impression they're playing both sides of the fence. But whose sides and whose fences, well, that's something you'll have to follow to find out. Darja, Jaroslav, and Radomir are other new POVs that bring you the most into the world of Rahasya, the city of Rahasya, and the things that are going on, and its underworld. They're a Vukari pack that have been brought together by slavery, and they are really the key elements to the newly unfolding story arc, as some close, the next one coming up, that involves the temple library of Rahasya and the secrets it holds. They're kind of like the eyes and ears that will take you in. The three of them, even though they're the same race and they have pretty much the same history, they come from different packs, they come from different parts of their world, because they also are from one of the edges of reality, Thuaid and Miel, which is the land of eternal winter and midnight. They have very unique ways of looking at the world and of doing things and of the values that they hold, and it affects the way they interact with the younger races, the humans, the Panthans, even the other old races like elves. But they really are the ones that I feel take you into Rahasya. And hopefully you'll enjoy going along on the ride with them. As always, I'll keep you up to date on my progress with Rahasya's first draft. And of course, my side stories, should I ever get them done. I am still working on Asylum's Ghost, and my side story inspired by certain characters in Rahasya, The Fight Slave's Prize. When will those be out? I have no idea. When will they be done? Still don't have any idea. But I will keep you up to date, and as soon as they are released, or as soon as I know when they'll be released, I promise to let you know. Until then, I will see you next week.